Learn English. Anya dreamt in English, vivid conversations flowing easily, but her waking reality was a stark contrast. She yearned to speak fluently, to articulate her thoughts without hesitation or fear. Every attempt felt like navigating a linguistic minefield, riddled with potential errors and the gnawing anxiety of judgment. Learn English, she'd tell herself, yet the path seemed perpetually shrouded in fog. Textbooks piled high on her desk, flashcards scattered like fallen leaves, and grammar rules blurred into an impenetrable maze. She diligently memorized vocabulary, practiced sentence structures, but the words remained stubbornly trapped in her mind. How to talk in English became her silent, desperate plea, echoing in the quiet solitude of her room. Frustration mounted daily. She scrolled endlessly through online forums, seeking a breakthrough, a secret formula. The conventional way of learning English felt inadequate, producing only incremental, disheartening progress. There had to be a more organic approach, something that resonated with her desire for natural expression. Her heart longed for genuine connection, not merely rote memorization exercises. The biggest obstacle, a towering wall, was her paralyzing fear of error. "I don't want to make mistake, but I always why," she'd lament, convinced every mispronounced word or grammatical slip marked her as a failure. This internal monologue stifled her, preventing any spontaneous utterance, even when the opportunity arose to practice with native speakers. One afternoon, while browsing a language learning blog, a simple phrase caught her eye: listen and practice. It wasn't groundbreaking, yet something about its directness resonated. She decided to shift her focus from passive consumption to active engagement, no longer just studying words but actively trying to absorb the rhythm and intonation of native speech. An old BBC documentary playing in the background sparked an idea. "Let's talk in British English," she thought, captivated by the distinct accents and nuanced expressions. This specific focus felt refreshing, providing a clear target rather than the broad, overwhelming concept of English in general. It gave her a cultural anchor. She immersed herself in British podcasts, audiobooks, and radio dramas, often just letting them play in the background. Initially, much of it was incomprehensible, a blur of sounds. Yet, she persisted, consciously tuning in, trying to catch individual words, then phrases, slowly beginning to discern patterns in the flow of conversation and speech. Then came the shadowing technique, repeating what she heard almost simultaneously. It felt awkward at first, her tongue tripping over unfamiliar sounds. But she pushed through, mimicking intonation, rhythm, and even subtle pauses. This active repetition was a direct, how to improve your fluency exercise she hadn't truly grasped before. Anya started practicing common British phrases, things like cheers, brilliant, and fancy a cuppa. She'd say them aloud to herself, imagining conversations, building muscle memory in her mouth and tongue. These small, consistent repetitions laid a solid foundation for more complex dialogues later on, slowly chipping away at her inhibitions. To confront her mistakes head-on, she began recording herself speaking. Listening back was initially cringe-worthy, highlighting every stumble and mispronunciation. Yet, it was also incredibly enlightening, providing clear, actionable feedback. This self-assessment was crucial for understanding where her persistent errors actually lay. She painstakingly transcribed her own recordings, comparing them to native speaker examples. This analytical approach helped her pinpoint specific pronunciation issues, grammatical structures she consistently fumbled, and areas where her intonation fell flat. This systematic error analysis was a powerful tool for improvement. Venturing cautiously, Anya joined online British English language exchange groups. Typing felt safer than speaking, offering a degree of anonymity. She started by just reading conversations, then occasionally posted short replies, carefully constructed and reviewed multiple times before daring to hit send. Her confidence grew incrementally. The day came when she decided to participate in a voice chat. Her heart pounded like a drum against her ribs. Her first words were a whisper, almost swallowed by her fear. She stumbled, hesitated, and felt the familiar surge of shame. Yet, she didn't disconnect, she stayed, listening intently. That first voice chat was far from perfect, but it wasn't a catastrophe. No one laughed. People were patient, offering encouragement. This small success chipped away at her ingrained fear of mistakes. She realized that perfection was not the goal, communication was, and people were generally understanding. Recognizing that good speaking stemmed from good listening, she intensified her efforts on how to improve your listening skills. She focused on active listening, not just hearing words, but understanding context, inferring meaning from tone, and catching nuances in conversations. It was like tuning into a new frequency. Her improved listening allowed her to differentiate between various British accents, Scottish, Northern, Cockney. This newfound ability made her feel more connected to the language's richness and diversity, moving beyond a monolithic idea of British English to appreciate its regional variations, making listening more engaging. She started noticing common idioms and slang phrases, not just their definitions, but how they were used naturally in conversation. Taking the mickey, spot on, gutted, these colorful expressions brought the language to life and made her feel more authentically connected to British culture. Her online interactions shifted from formal questions to more informal chat. She started asking about daily life, hobbies, and even sharing small personal anecdotes. This transition felt liberating, moving her beyond textbook dialogues into the realm of authentic, spontaneous communication, essential for fluency. A significant breakthrough occurred when she found herself thinking in English. Simple tasks, like planning her day or mentally cataloging groceries, were now processed in her target language. This internal monologue indicated a deeper integration of English into her cognitive processes, a true marker of progress. She began to simulate conversations in her head, imagining different scenarios, ordering coffee, asking for directions, engaging in small talk. This mental rehearsal built confidence and prepared her for real-life interactions, reducing the element of surprise and hesitation when faced with actual English speakers. Eventually, Anya found a dedicated language partner, Liam, from Manchester. Their weekly video calls became a cornerstone of her learning. He was patient and corrected her gently, fostering a safe and encouraging environment for her to experiment with new vocabulary and grammatical structures without fear. Her initial goal was just to speak, but now her focus evolved to how to talk with anyone, regardless of their background or accent. Liam introduced her to various online communities where diverse English speakers converged, broadening her exposure to different conversational styles and topics. Their conversations expanded beyond standard language exchange topics. They discussed current events, personal interests, travel, and even shared jokes. This breadth of discussion challenged her to adapt her vocabulary and phrasing, pushing her fluency to new levels, making her feel more like a participant. She learned to embrace the inevitable awkward pauses and moments of misunderstanding. Instead of panicking, she'd ask for clarification or rephrase her thoughts. This resilience was a crucial step, transforming perceived failures into opportunities for deeper learning and genuine connection with others. Liam also helped her understand subtle cultural nuances embedded in British English. Things like politeness markers, indirectness, and specific humor became clearer. This cultural insight was vital for not just speaking correctly, but speaking appropriately, making her conversations feel more natural. With each successful interaction, Anya's confidence blossomed. The fear of making mistakes gradually receded, replaced by a growing sense of capability. She still made errors, of course, but they no longer held the same power to paralyze her. They became learning points, not signs of failure. The stuttering, hesitant replies slowly gave way to more spontaneous, fluid speech. She found herself responding without overthinking, ideas forming directly in English. This was the fluency she had always dreamed of, a seamless connection between thought and spoken word. Whenever she learned a new word or phrase, she made a conscious effort to use it within 24 hours. This immediate application cemented the vocabulary in her mind and made it an active part of her repertoire, preventing new words from just sitting passively in her memory bank. To further enrich her vocabulary and understanding of complex sentence structures, Anya started reading extensively. British novels, newspapers, and online articles became her daily companions, exposing her to formal and informal English in written form, complementing her audio input effectively. She also incorporated writing practice, maintaining a daily journal in English. She'd describe her day, her feelings, her thoughts, forcing herself to articulate complex ideas in written form. This strengthened her grammatical accuracy and expanded her descriptive abilities, reinforcing her overall language skills. English stopped being just a subject to be studied, it became a living, breathing entity, a medium through which she could express her authentic self. This emotional connection fueled her motivation and made the learning process intrinsically rewarding, transforming a chore into a passion. Her newfound fluency had a ripple effect beyond just language. It boosted her general self-confidence, making her more assertive and open in other areas of her life. She realized that overcoming such a significant challenge had equipped her with invaluable life skills and resilience. Anya even started offering advice to other English learners online, sharing her journey and the techniques that worked for her. She often repeated her mantra, "Listen and practice," emphasizing the importance of active engagement and consistent exposure to native speech patterns. She stressed that fluency wasn't a destination but an ongoing journey, a continuous process of learning and refinement. The initial fear of mistakes was a natural part of this journey, and overcoming it was far more important than achieving initial perfection in speech. Sometimes, she'd pause and recall her initial why, her yearning for connection. Now, she could connect, truly connect, with people from diverse backgrounds, understanding their stories and sharing her own, fulfilling that deep-seated desire she once felt so strongly. One day, walking through a park, she overheard a British couple discussing a local event. Without thinking, she chimed in, asking a question about it. The conversation flowed naturally, surprisingly easy, a clear testament to her progress and shattered inhibitions. The pure joy of effortlessly understanding and being understood was immense. No more mental translations, no more struggling for words. The language had become an extension of herself, a tool she wielded with increasing precision and comfort in various social settings. Her dedication to "Let's talk in British English" had given her not just a skill, but a unique linguistic identity. She found a particular pleasure in using British idioms and pronunciation, feeling a strong connection to the culture she had embraced during her learning process. Her English skills opened doors to new opportunities, international conferences, global projects, and friendships with people from all corners of the world. The world felt smaller, more accessible, thanks to her persistence in mastering the language. Even now, fluent and confident, Anya knew her learning wasn't over. Language was dynamic, constantly evolving. She continued to listen, read, and engage, always seeking new vocabulary, new expressions, ensuring her skills remained sharp and relevant in an ever-changing world. She often told others that the secret to how to improve your listening skills wasn't just hearing, but active engagement, trying to predict, infer, and visualize the conversation. It was a mental workout, not passive reception, building neural pathways for comprehension. And for how to talk with anyone, she emphasized sincerity and genuine interest. Language was merely a vehicle, true communication came from a desire to connect. Even imperfect English, delivered with warmth, could build bridges more effectively than flawless, but cold, speech. The old fear, "I don't want make mistake but I always why," now seemed distant, almost a quaint memory. She realized that every mistake was a sign of trying, a courageous step outside her comfort zone, rather than a mark of failure. Mistakes were teachers. Her journey from a hesitant learner to a confident speaker was a profound personal transformation. It wasn't just about language, it was about self-discovery, resilience, and the power of consistent, dedicated effort in pursuit of a meaningful goal she truly cared about. She even planned a trip to the UK, eager to test her British English skills in authentic situations, to immerse herself fully in the culture that had so profoundly shaped her linguistic journey, from her listening choices to her conversational style. Meeting Liam in person for the first time was surreal. Their online friendship transitioned seamlessly into real life, their conversations flowing as easily as they did over video calls, proving the effectiveness of her long-distance practice methods. She relished everyday British interactions, ordering a proper fry-up, navigating London's tube, chatting with shopkeepers. These small moments, once daunting prospects, were now sources of joy and confidence, validating all her hard work and consistent effort. Anya had discovered the richness of English beyond grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It was in the slang, the humor, the subtle inflections of tone, the way people expressed emotion. This deeper understanding made her conversations truly come alive. Her ultimate advice to aspiring learners remained consistent: embrace the struggle, listen relentlessly, practice speaking, and don't let the fear of errors paralyze you. How to talk in English truly boiled down to consistent, brave attempts. She was no longer just Anya learning English. She was Anya, a global citizen, connected, articulate, and ready to engage with the world, a testament to the power of dedication and the transformative journey of language acquisition and personal growth. The freedom that fluency brought was immeasurable. She could now express her complex thoughts, emotions, and opinions with precision, connecting deeply with others in ways she only dreamed of before, truly mastering the art of communication. Reflecting on her journey, Anya realized that the answer to "why I always make mistakes" was simple: because she was learning, growing, and bravely pushing past her boundaries. Mistakes were not failures but essential stepping stones on the path to mastery. And so, Anya's English story was not an end, but a new beginning. She continued to explore, to learn, to connect, her voice clear and confident, a living embodiment of her journey from silent aspiration to eloquent articulation in every conversation.